Welcome to the 45th installment of the Shadow Work and Evolutionary series. If you've ever struggled with the need to control a situation, felt unseen in a group, or held back from stepping into leadership because of fear, you're not alone. And today, in this video, we'll be exploring the 45th evolutionary pattern of change, a code that unlocks deep ancestral patterns of power, fear, and ultimately, communion. It's easier to understand this shadow from the parable of the empty throne. At this point, please close your eyes and visualize the story I am about to share. Long ago, in a kingdom ruled by fear, there sat a king, not one crowned by love, but by necessity. The crops were dying, the people were starving, and when the world feels scarce, people don't gather, they hoard. The king, afraid of losing control, held every resource under lock and key. He demanded loyalty. He rewarded silence. Over time, he built walls so high no one could see in or out. And though he was never overthrown, he was utterly alone. One night, an old beggar arrived at the gates with nothing but a wooden bowl and a single loaf of bread. The guards tried to turn him away, but something about the man, the way he didn't flinch, the way he bowed, not in submission, but in invitation, reached the king. "Why are you here?" the king asked. And the beggar replied, "You built a kingdom of walls. I came to show you the strength of circles." That night, the king had a dream, a great round table overflowing with food, where all his people sat, not to serve him, but to serve one another. And when he woke, he found his throne was gone. In its place was a single seat at a long, round table. This 45th evolutionary pattern begins with the shadow of dominance. Its shadow is rooted in a primal fear, not the fear of being harmed, but something deeper, the fear that there's not enough, the fear that one is not enough. It expresses in two ways, as repressively as timidity, where one shrinks, stays silent, and conforms to survive. The reactive as control or a form of arrogance, where one asserts, overpowers, and dominates, not because one's confident, but because one's insecure. The evolutionary companion to the 45th and its shadow of dominance, with its fear of lack, is the shadow of pride and its fear of sabotage. Its repressive nature is to become overcommitted, and its reactive nature is to become unreliable. So you can see how these two shadows play hand in hand to keep us from uniting together, from seeing ourselves in each other, and becoming courageously vulnerable and allowing everyone else to help everyone else so that we can all live an abundant life where everyone feels appreciated, recognized, and venerated. For those interested in doing deeper personal alchemy and wish to have a means of accelerating an understanding of shadow work, over the last 3 to 5 years, I have collected a wealth of information from various esoteric systems, namely the I Ching, human design, gene keys, the chakra systems, and astrology, as well as integrating them with the human genetic code. And in this chart, you will find the details of all the different shadows, all the different fears, the specific fears that fuel those specific shadows, all 64, all in relationship to each codon. And in this wheel, you will find 4 legends on each corner because they can't all fit on one corner or one side to make it a nice, evenly balanced square. So here is the statements from each zodiac sign, so you can see. And then we have the legend for each chakra, you'll notice that there are more than seven, and because there are more than seven, because it is including the spleen as a means to detect threats. So there's an intuitional center there. There's also a center of willpower called the thyroid, because when we are born, the thyroid is literally almost, if not as big as our heart. So we have to accommodate that. And on the other side of this, you will also find an understanding of the I Ching, hexagram system, the different trigrams, the relationship to the three-dimensional plane, the yin and the yang, and how each of the 6 lines are affiliated with different archetypes, thanks to the human design and or gene key system. And lastly, you will also find the human genetic sequence chart for all the amino acids associated with the human genetic code. But furthermore, you will also find in this chart all the different zodiacs, all 12, mixed with the human design gene key chart. Bear with me, my graphics card is not as fast as other people's on their computer, but you will see all the different fears, all the different shadows, and how they relate to each chakra in those colorful little dots. So you can see how it affects each energy center in the body, and how each of them have their own repressive and reactive statements, because there are 6 expressions in each challenge. Therefore, you will also find those 6 lines in there, all with their own repressive and reactive statements, their associated dilemmas from that specific shadow, which eventually will clear up, the gift from making the right choices regularly, and practicing that gift with its own unique self-empowerment statement. So as you learn to vacate the trapped emotions such as sadness, fear, anger, shame, and guilt, and you reorient towards true self-alignment and honoring the intuition and inner authority that you possess, it will lead you towards the grace specific to that challenge. So if you would like to learn more about this, and or you would like to download this file for your own personal means of translating your specific challenges in the human design system or in the gene key system, it is all there for you. All you have to go is to my website and download this PDF file. It's about 50 megabytes in size. I hope you enjoy this, and hope you enjoy this brief glimpse into this massive PDF with all the details about all the specific challenges you'll have in your personal self-realization path. In order to find this PDF, a link will be found down below in the description of the YouTube video. When using that elaborate and vast chart of information, you can use the human design apps found in the App Store on Google Play, so that you can choose whichever speaks to you most. And as you choose whichever human design app works best for you, you can then use that towards the chart. So you get your information and your numbers, and then after that, you can use the chart as reference. For example, I use the human design app, which helps me see the specific numbers that I need to see in the top right-hand corner. The red are the unconscious. These are the ones that were imprinted when the soul decided to remain anchored in the body about 90 days before you were born, between the second and the third trimester. The black numbers indicate the conscious, more aware challenges that you know you have in your current life, based on your survival challenges and your adversities currently going on in your life. You can also find that same application in the Human Design App Store for iPhone and or iOS before you start using the chart that you have purchased online. Thank you very much. And if you ever need more information on this and you wanted a free consultation in understanding the current challenges in your life and how it relates to human design, feel free to reach out through the links below. You can also visit thegenekeys.com. There, you will also find a different kind of chart, It relates to the same challenges and same numerical sequences as found in the I Ching and Human Design. And there you'll be able to find a free profile link where you can then enter in your personal information in this field and then have a look at your specific gene key profiles and understand your genus sequence, your Venus sequence in opening up your heart, your love sequence, prosperity, and finding inner harmony. Thank you for watching this short introduction into the wheel of evolutionary change and the chart that I've shown you in brief. And hopefully through those apps and through this PDF, you will find a way to decode the challenges you face and understand how to make the best choices for you and everyone you were meant to impact positively in your life. Now back to the shadow work and the evolutionary change in this video. This specific challenge speaks to our evolutionary memory. It lives in our DNA from the days when tribal survival required strong hierarchies, dominant rulers, and submission from others. But we're not meant to stay in survival. This fear was once necessary, but now it holds us back. You see, every shadow holds a purpose. In the world of evolutionary change, this shadow isn't a flaw, it's a challenge, a lesson, and a threshold. And the act of dominance asks us to evolve. Physically, this shadow once helped humans survive. Dominant leaders ensured order. Those who yielded lived another day. The fear of lack pushed us to store, to defend, and to conquer. But spiritually, we're being invited into something new. The world is shifting from competition to collaboration, from hierarchy to synergy, from fear to grace. Dominance is not the final chapter. It's the fire we must walk through to reach communion. And communion is not just spiritual unity. It's energetic alignment with the whole. It's when our actions serve something bigger than ourselves. Not because we need to control, but because we're rooted in trust. Your need to control is not the problem. Your fear of lack is not the enemy. Your silence or superiority are not your curses. They are the beginning of your path. You start in fear, you learn to understand it, you begin to soften, and somewhere in that process, you'll find the courage to stop grasping and start opening. Opening to synergy, where every voice matters. Opening to communion, where love is shared, not negotiated. Opening to the grace that has been waiting all along. This is the journey of this 45th pattern. It is the journey from dominance to divine belonging. This channel isn't here to give you all the answers, only the maps. You have your own throne to walk away from, your own table to build, and your own lights to share. If this touched something in you, like, subscribe, reflect, and you can join in again. Because we're not here to dominate, we're here to evolve together. Until next time, stay open, stay curious, and remember, power rooted in fear will divide. The companion, the evolutionary companion to the 45th and its shadow of dominance with its fear of lack, is the shadow of pride and its fear of sabotage. Its repressive nature is to become overcommitted, and its reactive nature is to become unreliable. So you can see how these two shadows play hand in hand to keep us from uniting together, from seeing ourselves in each other, and becoming courageously vulnerable and allowing everyone else to help everyone else so that we can all live an abundant life where everyone feels appreciated, recognized, and venerated. But power rooted in love invites communion. Thank you for going on this journey with me. I know your time is precious. So down below, there's a little bit more information for you on this evolutionary work. Along with that are a few links. One, to reach out in case you want a consultation with me that's free. The other is my website, so you can learn more about me, what I do, how I do it, and why. After that, there are 3 support groups that you can engage in to experience this communion you may long for. The first one is divination systems, so you can become an alchemical master, constantly learning and practicing the ability to alchemize one's shadows and self-realize so that you can become the best you can be for others and inspire them to do the same for you. The next group is the emotional intelligence and mastery group, so you can understand the emotions that you experience so that you can have a healthy dialogue with them. And instead of having them run your life and fuel your shadows, they become partners to create communion within you and without. And lastly, emotional trauma release group, so that you can end the pattern of dominance and submission and create space for the communion you long for with the different parts of you internally and the many people out there that are ready to support you and that you can support them. Together, we can make a world where everyone feels liberated to be themselves and never worry about sabotage. Everyone is venerated for who they really are and what they're here to bring. So thank you for allowing me to be part of your journey through these videos. God bless you on your journey. Namaste and good life to you all.